Hey, whoops. Hey.
I feel like I've come to your very fancy living room.
Well, I wish.
I just got like a Zoom flash memory of actually like working
Yes.
with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
which we haven't done for, what, 9 years?
You know why we're on this thing?
Because we worked together
We're
once.
old now.
I certainly am. You're not. You're not allowed to say that.
Do you remember how old I was when I did The Night Manager?
25?
I was 24.
24. I didn't know how to
What
tie
did
my
I know?
shoes when I was 24.
Want to come?
I don't think that would be wise.
There's no current.
I think it was the most glam job.
I remember it looked very glamorous and we were in some very glamorous locations. But my memory of it was of the four distinct different identities that I was playing and having to jump in, because we were cross-boarding it, having to jump around in between different identities and different costumes. So I remember it being quite sort of stressful in a good way. It was very fast.
It was very fast for you, yeah. I was in much less of it than you. I mean, there's, it's like when you watch a TV.
I don't recall that at all.
When you watch a TV show as an actor and you see, the lead of the show, how many episodes was Night Manager? 6. 6, 8, 10, whatever. And you see that actor is in almost every shot.
Yeah.
As an actor, when I watch that, I think, that must have been a hard job for them. And I think that was you.
But you've now done that.
Yes, I've done it much more. Yeah, but at the time on our show, I mean, my memory of it, it's probably very immediately tinged with golden nostalgia. But I was so happy making that show. I couldn't believe I got the part to begin with, Do you remember when we did rehearsals in Marrakesh in the hotel in like a conference loungy room? And it was you, Hugh, Olivia, Tom, Susanna, and myself. And I remember sitting there and you were all so incredibly articulate and but you were, and you'd had so much more experience.
Well, they certainly had.
I just remember sitting there and I honestly had this, this thought of like, one of these things is not like the other one. I was like, oh my God, I'm such a pleb.
No.
Like an Australian baby.
No. That's not what happened. That's not how I remember it at all. I remember you just being, it was effortless. That's what I remember. I'll embarrass you briefly. I remember we were doing a script meeting. It was a room above a conference room in Holborn or something.
No windows.
In the rain, yeah. And we were talking about the shape of the script and threading through all kinds of different things, the update. And at the end of that meeting, it was like dark outside. Susanna said, I found Jed. And they went, oh, great. What's her name? And she said, Elizabeth Debicki. And she took her laptop out and said, this is her tape. And suddenly we were all watching your tape for the first time. And I remember it was absolutely astonishing. I'll never forget that. And Hugh and I going, wow, okay, that's Jed. And it was the most brilliant audition.
There were many things that made it a really extraordinary job. Susanna won, and the cast, like the most gorgeous actors that have ever been shoved together in a thing. But we really were everywhere that the camera showed us to be. And that is so extraordinarily rare and so helpful.
No, so helpful.
Because it just informs everything about your, that your body begins to feel and then your mind catches up with it.
Doesn't he look grown up?
Very nice.
Thank you. All right.
It's so funny. The other day, this is a crap story, but I was so often people say, oh my God, you're the night manager, or they
say that you're the night manager.
You're the night manager. And I go, my name's Tom. Hello, nice to meet you. The other day I was in a food shop and was at the checkout, and somebody, very sweet lady, came up to me and said, are you the manager? And I said, actually, I'm Tom. Yeah, but are you the manager? I'm looking for roast chicken. I thought, okay, sorry. No, I'm not that manager. I think I'm flattered that you think I run this place, but...
Did you help her find the chicken?
I did. Yeah, she had other complaints about the store, which I couldn't remedy, sadly. But anyway, here's what I bet people stop you in the street about. Diana.
Nobody stops me in the street.
Really?
No, I find that English people they're keen on personal space.
Yes.
As an Australian, I found this here. So no, no one's stopping me on the street.
Let it be said, first off,
Uh-oh.
you are magnificent in The Crown. You are absolutely magnificent. And I don't know how you did it, frankly. You've taken on a character that exists in the public consciousness in such a luminous, striking, and personal way for every person. I kind of don't know how you did it. I've watched you and gone, how is she doing this? Because I know you. And so I'm looking for Elizabeth, but I can't see it. And yet I see aspects of someone who I knew from a distance as a young person. Obviously, I had no proximal relationship to Diana at all.
I thought you meant me.
I think I know you a little better than I knew her.
I thought we were friends.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, come on. But no, so I felt I got to know Diana more intimately through what you were doing. And it was so human and compassionate and loving and detailed. I mean, the detail in your performance is astonishing.
I suppose it's already too late to stop this?
Yes.
I just thought it was amazing.
Thank you.
How has it been? How was it?
It felt like it was the right sized challenge for what I wanted to try and do as an actor. That's a retrospective.
Yeah, you can't think about that.
At the time beforehand, I felt very, very nervous. I mean, like very nervous.
Understandably
which was translated
so.
into me becoming quite fixated on the technicality of everything in the beginning.
Yeah, but that keeps you safe, doesn't it?
It felt like it was keeping me safe until actually it felt like it was sort of a hindrance.
Yeah.
I watched a lot.
Yeah.
I thought maybe by osmosis I would just absorb, which I think I sort of did once you sit with enough hours. It was a very all-consuming 2 and a bit years.
Yeah.
I feel that I have a strange encyclopedic knowledge of certain strange things.
Yeah.
I also have a vast treasure chest of stories, because once you play somebody like that, most people have had when I was on the King's Road, I got out of a cab and there she was walking into a hat shop, or, whatever it was. And they'll say it was the 16th of May, it was a Thursday, it's burned into people's memories. I don't know, I'm very clear about the fact that it was a character that I created, but it was a great gift. It taught me a lot about being a person.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It taught me a lot. I think it opened up my heart a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an amazing thing to say.
Yeah, what a gift. Yeah. I don't know a terrible amount about Marvel.
Apart from having been in one of the films.
I've been in 2 of them.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I feel that when I was working with you on The Night Manager, how many films had you already done by then where you played Loki? 2?
3.
3.
Yeah.
That was sort of
I was 33.
I sort of didn't know that it was this massive thing, and you were a massive star, and it was this big thing.
It's definitely that's very sweet of you.
And that character has been with you for how many years?
15 years now. Yeah. So I was cast. I'm now 43, and I was cast when I was 28, which is.
What does it feel like to be with someone for that long?
Definitely there was a moment it was a big, maybe kind of similar to what you were saying about being cast in The Night Manager, a very lengthy audition process. And then Kevin Feige saying, actually, we've got plans for Loki. And they were plans far above and beyond my expectations. I thought I was just doing it for one film, that Loki would be the antagonist in the first Avengers film, because he was the antagonist in the first Avengers comic. And suddenly I was standing in a circle with Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, and Chris Evans, all of us in our vibrant, multicolored outfits. And I remember the film came out and it changed all of our lives, I think. It changed my life forever.
Oh, I've heard. A mindless beast. Makes play he's still a man. How desperate are you? You call on such lost creatures to defend you.
How desperate am I?
And then the joy of continuing to play the character, having built Loki as I always saw him as a a broken soul with a shattered heart.
I won't touch Barton, not until I make him kill you. Slowly, intimately.
Across the journey, all the way up to the show, I wanted to find a way of redeeming, to sort of find his way back to the light. And to have had the chance to do that across 15 years is really rare, because the audience are coming with you too. The audience are invested in who the character is, and you get, because I think he's such a complex character, the mask of the character is full of wit and charm and playfulness, but the mask is hiding all the loneliness and the pain and the loss.
There's a great vulnerability inside of him.
But I love that.
Yes.
And he's, in a way, he and Pine are quite connected in that way. There's a presentation of something. There's an external, and then behind that, on the inside, there's something much more turbulent, much more broken, much more on fire. And occasionally you get to see these windows where you get to look into this, these lonely characters, I guess.
But is it fun to play someone who has magical powers?
Yes. Yeah. And then to try and connect the magical powers to something honest and soulful. Yeah. And I think the key is to try and fill the silhouette with something really honest, so that the audience goes, wow, there's this, he's the god of mischief. He's immortal, but he's full of very human.
Yes, he seems so human.
Feelings, yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing has been like a little essay on identity, actually. You know, you say like, Diana has left you with this. It was almost like a lesson in love or open-heartedness. And it's similar in a way. Like at the end of the show, Loki finally understands that his purpose is to give his own life for his friends and the people he loves. In the end, it was all about love. And finally give him, I suppose, that peace, which you hope everyone gets in life. See you again soon. Sooner than 10 years.
Do you have my number that's still
I think
working?
So.
Okay.
Is it the same number that, have you changed it?
I don't know.
I guess
Life
I'll find out. I'll send someone a text, like, hi, Debicki, and I'll get a response back saying, this number has not been recognized.
Yeah. Someone else wrap us
See
up.
you
We
sooner
can't
than
do it
10
because we're going to
years.
see each other in a second.
I'll see you sooner than 10 years.
Yeah.
Let's do this again.
I hope
on
so.
a blue sofa near you.
Yeah.
In less than 10 years' time.
Please.